I should cancel my Final Fantasy 14 subscription.
Yeah, probably. That'd be a good idea. Welcome back to UpTilt, your weekly source of forgetting about your subscriptions. This episode brought to you by Rocket Money. Just kidding. We're not. It'd be great
I
if we
haven't
did have a sponsorship, though.
I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 since July 20th.
You know that I think people think he's cringy. I don't want to say that just outright, but he's the guy that does like millennial and Gen Z finance tips, and he always like yells at people. You always see the clips online where he's like, your car payment's $3,000 a month. What are you doing? You know that guy?
Yeah, he's got sponsored ads now too, and they're all annoying.
Yeah, well, I think they're sponsored by Rocket Money. I don't think it's just like for him.
Well, I know it's not for him because he's not paying himself to do an ad.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wouldn't pay himself, but if he had a marketing agency, do a commercial for him. Uh-oh. What'd you do to your microphone? You sound like popcorn now.
What? I wasn't even talking.
Yeah, while you're talking, I'm getting like a lot of crinkly static noises.
Right now, currently?
Not that time. But when you said I wasn't even talking, it was like popping a lot. Almost like there's a lot of static around your mic.
Is it better now?
Yes, I don't hear it. It wasn't like going consistently. You know what I was just thinking of, though? And I don't know if it was because I was craving playing one or what. Well, actually, we were playing with Kendra's sister the other day, playing golf with your friends specifically. And she had mentioned Phasmophobia. And I was like, personally, I don't want to play it. I appreciate that you enjoy it, but there's just too much going on in that. And I started thinking, like, I want there to be one, but I feel like I've never thoroughly enjoyed a scary game. And not just because it's not like my preferred genre or category, but because I just feel like they're never executed in the way that I feel like they should be. I know I'm not the game director or anything, but I'm always expecting something a little different.
You're not even a game director.
No, not
let
at
alone
all.
the game director.
Yeah, right? No, like Phasmophobia updated. We took maybe 1 or 2 months break in between the one time we played it, and then they updated it, and it was like so much more, and it was just very convoluted, and it's all just jump scares, really.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm sure maybe things like Resident Evil are maybe more along the lines of what I'm thinking would be more enjoyable.
Well, you gotta think Phasmophobia is just like a party game.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
So,
but even like,
it's like getting together with your friends and playing Ouija with no real danger.
Yeah. But I mean,
I said
like,
that as if I believe in Ouija. I don't.
Yeah. But like Resident Evil, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of tired of. Is Resident Evil zombies?
It was.
You know, it's just weird stuff.
They've moved to infected, and pretty much every Resident Evil game is good.
Yeah. Now I'm not
because
saying
it's scary, and I think that's what you're lacking with games that I've seen you play that are scary. Is the story. There's no story for Phasmophobia. You liked that one game we played together.
The puzzle one?
Scary, but yeah, it wasn't scary, but it was spooky.
It was spooky. And I think I want like spooky in like almost like a thriller, like creepy factor. Not like, I don't want jump scares. I don't want zombies. And I know you're saying Resident Evil has a lot of story behind it, and it does. I agree with you. It's just not a story I'm personally interested in. I'm being picky here, but
no,
this is just an opinion piece.
I think you're being choosy, but I don't think you're being picky.
Yeah. They're similar. Not the same, though.
Right. I think I think picky has a more negative connotation. I don't think you're
Yeah.
being negative.
Yeah. No,
But,
I just like
you should check
there's
out, like, Alone in the Dark, or, like I don't know, a lot of times when you go for, like, scary and they're like, "Zombies, let's make it an action game." I don't want an action game.
no. And like I don't know, Last of Us still didn't like it's not bad. I appreciate the story, but
It's
again, it's just a
still
classic like infected zombie game.
they're mushrooms.
Yeah. A zombified mushroom.
No, mushroomified person
Mumshroomized. Like
with a
mummy
B.
mummy and mushroom.
What if
Mubshroom?
Mummy had a B in it?
Mumby? Bummy? Mub me?
Mummy. It's the B after the U.
What if the
Like,
B
oh,
doesn't replace anything and it's just at the end or at the beginning? Bumummy? Mummeeb?
Mumbmy.
You know what? While I'm thinking of it,
Mummy.
and I know you were just kind of saying that you don't want like an action game for something spooky, but something that shocked me in a good way was in the original Uncharted, the first game. Towards the end of it, and it came completely out of left field. Granted, you are kind of exploring like an ancient temple, sure, whatever. Like very close to the end. Nathan Drake, I think that's his name, goes and basically pulls a Indiana Jones situation where he's like exploring, grabs whatever he's looking for, and he like
Picks up his hat.
yeah, he rounds a corner and there's like it's just this completely dark hallway. And it's like T intersection. There's a path to the left, path to the right, and he's like looking down and it's totally dark. And then just out of nowhere, this horde, not even of like zombies, but like bizarre looking creatures. And they're like humanoids just come sprinting down out of the dark from the left. And so like you kind of Indiana Jones and run down the right path while they're chasing you. And he like makes an escape. Wonderful. It was completely out of left field, like I said. Surprised me. Spooky in the right way. Granted, this was an action game, but I kind of I want to be able to explore and like develop story, almost like finding the origin of like maybe you're like a cryptid hunter and
Yeah. Well,
like
why don't you play Silent Hill 2? Play the remake.
I could look into it.
That game's kind of scary. It's I don't know, it's just every time there's like a scary game, it's like, here's your gun. And then I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's not
I
necessarily what I want though. Like I don't want to
right, because
have to
every time
shoot
I get
and
done, I'm
you
like,
know
I'm not scared anymore. I have a firearm.
yeah. And then then the game is no longer about being spooked and exploring. It's
It's about
about,
not dying.
yeah. Then it's a survival game. And that's not what I'm going for. I want exploration and a lore driven story for the game.
Fallout.
I don't want Fallout.
Play Fallout
I
3.
don't want Fallout.
Now you're being picky. Because that's exact Fallout 3 is exactly that.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just like the content of, or maybe it's the setting that's more the problem. There should be, and maybe there is like a game database or something where you just mark off all the filters you want in a game and it'll like spit out like, there are 14 games that match this vibe.
You could use like a Chat GPT.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't advocate for using Chat GPT, but like it'll work. Like
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
it's not great though. The thing about AI answers is like I don't understand why we use them so much when you could just Google the same
very true.
thing. That's all AI is
Absolutely.
doing. All it's doing is it's going to the search engine for you. It's going at a breakneck speed, but it's just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to me. Sometimes I'll hop on there for like recipes. That's the only
I
reason I
would
have it.
love for that to be like, I would love for it to spit out like a really weird recipe, but you don't like give it an overview first and you're just like, yeah, sounds great. Thanks. And then you just take it and run with it, make it, and it's disgusting.
Usually it's not like give me a recipe for this or whatever.
Yeah.
what I do is I just get validation. Like, do these flavors go well together? Because it'll automatically research the polls for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't want to do I don't want to be standing in the middle of the grocery store and be like, can I put something bitter in this drink and have it still taste good? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. On the topic of cooking, though, I had set out over the holidays. One of the things we did on New Year's Eve was we were with Kendra's sister and with a group of people, and we all made like personal bingo cards for the year of like things we wanted to do or accomplish or something throughout 2025. One of the things I had listed was I want to make every recipe from a cookbook, and I had settled on the Stardew Valley cookbook that I have, and I'm going to make every recipe in there, which I think could make for some interesting content for the YouTube channel. Either shorts, I could like edit the recipe cooking process and just narrate it, or make like full on cooking videos. That's ramen.
I made that.
Did you really? That's impressive. That looks like Naruto ramen.
The uzumaki.
Dear ChatGPT, make me Naruto ramen.
we actually did a lot of it off of a Future Canoe video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Future Canoe.
I like Future Canoe's content. Big fan if you're watching, by the way. But
yeah, I love you, Future Canoe. We watch you all the time.
The one thing that always bugs me, and I'm sure at this point it's just like he's memeing himself, but I hate when he's doing the recipe and they say like, do this with this ingredient, do this with this ingredient, blah, blah, blah. And then he just completely uses or doesn't use the wrong ingredient or the wrong measurement. And then at the end, he's like, nah, 4 out of 10. I'm like, yeah, you didn't make the recipe at all, dude.
He usually says the recipe's a 10 out of 10, but my execution is.
That's fair. In those, most of the time he does do that, but there's a couple videos where the person's like, use, cornstarch. And he's like, I didn't have cornstarch, so I use this. And then he's like, this recipe sucks. And I'm like, dude, yeah. That wasn't the recipe.
That's true.
But I do love his content. Like I said, love you, big fan.
I think he's really funny.
Yeah,
I'm like smart funny. I think that it goes over, Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like the monotonous yet comedic and like narrating style that he uses.
Yeah, I don't want to sound pretentious and say he's like his comedy is really smart. Yeah, but I think that like he is
people
really
miss
good
it.
He's really good at marketing himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know, and I'm sure he wasn't. No offense. I'm sure he wasn't the first channel of that kind. You never know. You never know. And I'm sure he wasn't like the first channel or like that type of content, but he does it well enough that at least for us, and I'm sure a lot of other people, obviously, he's probably the first person that they think of when they're envisioning that style of content.
Mm-hmm.
Like the everyday chef recreating cooking videos. I do think he's a fantastic representation of the home chef who does not do a lot of cooking. I think I don't have that, but I'll try.
I think he's good at cooking.
No. I'm saying yes, he is really good at cooking. I just think he's also, based on his nonchalant approach to cooking, and just if he doesn't have an ingredient, he's like, oh well. Very representative of a majority of the population.
They told me to use a cup of brown sugar, but I didn't have that, so I mashed up an apple with my hands and just shoved it in there.
Yeah. I figured that. A similar topic. Have you ever seen, like just those comments on cooking posts or recipes online where it's like, good recipe, but I substituted every ingredient for other stuff?
Actually, some of my favorite posts on the internet are like reading 1-star recipe reviews.
Yeah. But instead of this, I did this instead. And it was terrible.
I made this pie, and instead of soy sauce, I used Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right? Or like,
Very gross.
I
Never
didn't
trying
have
this
time.
recipe again.
I didn't have the time to finish cooking this pie. So instead of an hour at 350, I did 10 minutes at 6,000 degrees. I
I burned
installed a
my house
kiln.
down.
I installed a kiln in my house so I could hyper bake my pies. I would love to hyper bake something. That sounds awesome.
I don't know what that is.
It was just something I made up.
Oh, hyper, like just cooking it really fast at a really high
Yeah.
temperature? I don't think it works like that.
No, it doesn't. You're familiar with kilns, though, correct?
Yeah, I've done ceramics.
I've
I've
potteried.
done pottery a little,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I believe you. See the
You
way he
should.
walks?
Yeah.
He
Why would I
walks.
lie about that?
Oh, you never know. You see the way Taki walks, though? He puts his paws out like this, and he's like
Like a pregnant girl?
no, like he's walking with flippers on. Like he just got
That's
back
the
from the
same
beach.
thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's start an OnlyFans account. It's just gonna be us saying curse words.
Yeah.
Give me $20, I'll say a slur.
For the one F word we let slip and I edit out. Subscribe here for the uncensored content.
Ooh.
What if we record twice the exact same show? We do the regular one once, then we listen back to it, or we lip sync, but we're shirtless. Dude, I really, really want to play D&D so bad.
Do it.
I want to run D&D really bad is what I really want.
That sounds like hard.
For me to run it?
Yeah, I don't
Or
wanna,
just the idea of running a campaign seems really hard.
It sounds overwhelming, yeah.
That's the part that I want to enjoy and interact with the most is the story creation and lore.
Yeah, but their people are not gonna follow your story.
Well, yeah, but
I did that
I'm a
one time.
storyteller at heart, Ed. I'll
Yeah, I
make
know.
it happen.
Yeah, regular Odysseus.
You mean Homer?
Sure.
Homer wrote the Odyssey
The Iliad.
and the Odyssey.
Yeah, I tried doing that one time for my cousins and my siblings. So it was a small group, 4 or 5 people, and everyone was like, you railroad too much." They didn't like that I had them start as captives on an island, and they were like, "Well, we're gonna meet," and I'm like, "This is it's so easy to just drop you into a little prison together.
Yeah.
Then you can go wherever you want after that. Just, you know."
Well, here's the thing. Also, I'll give in the scenario that I'm prepping a D&D campaign. I'll give you the overarching theme and the idea of what we're going to be doing. I am not, however, going to say, if you're making brand new characters, I'm not just going to say, this is exactly how we're going to be starting. Because I feel like that allows metagaming for like initial equipment or skills. You know, like if I say, hey, you're all starting in jail, you're not probably. Some people who might try and metagame might do what's a skill for lock picking?
Sleight of hand.
Dexterity or sleight of hand? Yeah. You know, that being said, I'm also not going to go over your, inventories to make something impossible either. I'm just going to be like, hey, this is how we started. Do you want to know each other prior to it, or do you want to be strangers and we can play that out? At least that's how I would prefer to start things. And also, sick of level 1 starts. If and when I run a campaign, level 3 minimum to start.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel like level 1 and 2 are very boring. Level 3 is at least where things start to get a little interesting. And also, if your background story is like, I'm a well-versed traveler and, stolen a couple things here and there, you probably don't just have the talents of a level 1 person.
You probably do though.
Yeah.
NPCs are way weaker than a level 1 player.
Yeah.
On average, obviously, if people are trying to murder Hobo, they just get killed by a cleric, but I don't even know how I would handle murder hoboing. I just be like, I would,
I don't like
I'd
it.
probably just,
Personally, not a fan.
yeah, be like, I'm gonna go, you guys. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I don't really want to play anymore.
Y'all can enjoy your slaughter. I'm good
I
over
mean,
here.
I would play a game with you.
Thanks, Ed. I
Maybe.
appreciate it.
I think that we are friends.
Maybe.
I think we are friends. And I would like to hang out with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm also like, at least one specifically, other games that I would also, or like TTRPGs that I would like to also explore, specifically Monster of the Week. That being said, if that's not up your alley, I'm never going to force anyone to be like, hey, you want to start a role-playing game campaign? And then just be like, here's the game we're using.
You couldn't force me to do anything.
I wouldn't want to anyways.
And I won't be playing Monster of the Week.
I really like the characters, like the backgrounds for it. I feel like it lends itself a lot better to like more modern gameplay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody hates D&D now, but I like how free it is with your character creation. That's all I really care about. I don't even really want to play the game. I just want to create characters.
Why does everyone hate D&D now? What I miss?
What do you mean?
You said everyone hates D&D now. What happened?
Yeah. Well, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast and all that stuff.
Oh.
Boycotts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did know that. I don't know why. I just didn't make those connections. I still think it's something that people are just going to play though. You know, and just like stop supporting materials and stuff.
Not to out myself as a Redditor, but I have a couple r/D&Ds that I follow.
Yeah. I believe that.
I like
not
the
to
D&D
say I
advice
don't
ones.
frequent it either.
I love the DM advice ones because they're like, you know, am I overreacting? But
my players have spent the last 8 sessions working in a bakery. How do I get them out of it?
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Because it's also like every time I see something like that, I'm like, D&D. Can never expect the players to do anything.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like a lot of D&D. I get it's supposed to be for fun, but like I'd just be a little serious. We can be a little serious.
Yeah. I think
if you think it's cringy, don't play.
I would just like to role play. Honestly, I think that's the most fun part of D&D. I don't just want to go and look at numbers and be boring about it.
Yeah, you heard it.
I want to be the character.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans to see Trevor
role play. Yeah, I think maybe I have a different opinion on this because I do think you're just inherently better at video games than I am. I feel like the way that different skill levels view video games is so funny though.
What do you mean?
Because like if you look at like the competitive scene versus like a casual player who like thinks they're good, like the way that someone decides a game, like how a game is supposed to be played based on their skill level is really funny and kind of cool. I just like seeing like the difference between people's approaches.
That's why I like Zelda so much, especially the open ones, the last 2 Switch ones.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways and nobody's brain works exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hate to out myself as a League player, which not that that's too much of a secret, but like
all of your biggest fans already know.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, if you look at like a high tier player and just like the insane amount of strategy and prediction that goes into their gameplay is wildly different from like a gold player who's like, yeah, I'm just gonna push the lane. That's good, right? All I gotta do is kill the enemy base and we're good.
I'm like if I were to play that game, I'd probably be bronze again. So I just don't know.
Well,
I
yeah,
really don't know the difference between pro play and casual play. I
that's
never
fair.
really
But
watched
I
pro
mean,
play. I
even
tried to
for
because all of you guys were so into pro play.
I really liked it.
Subscribe to our
It's
OnlyFans to
fallen
see
off
our
a
pro
little
play.
bit. It's fallen off a bit. I still watch Worlds though. I'm very interested in watching the Worlds tournament every year. Personally, I do think I wish there was a way to speed it the hell up though, because it takes like a whole month.
I kind of want to see like Wii bowling as a esport.
Yeah, well, the problem with Wii bowling is that you can just min max it.
Yeah.
There's like one setting where you can just strike every time.
The Switch Sports bowling is really fun.
And I also think it's more challenging than Wii bowling because I think it's more sensitive.
Yeah, I hate the ones where it like has the moving objects and platforms.
Yeah, I want them to add the Wii bowling, increasing pin count. You
I
remember?
never had a Wii. No, I never had a Wii, so I
Oh,
never.
so do you know what I'm talking about though? Before I Trev explain it to you. So there is a specialty mode in Wii bowling that was like, if you throw the first frame, it's 10 pins, classic. And then you throw the second frame and it's like 50 pins. And it keeps going up and up until you're at like 100 pins, maybe more. I don't remember how high it went.
Can you still get a strike?
Yeah. So the fun part is there was a cheat in it where so it had guardrails on the left and right. And if you could throw the ball straight down the right side guardrail, your ball would go into like the back end, and then you'd hear like a click and then a tiny explosion, and all the pins would jump up and all fall down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really like that. Also,
Switch Sports.
What about Switch Sports?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? What are you saying?
Oh,
Dude, I can't hear you.
what were you saying
About Switch Sports?
before that?
I don't remember. Oh, I was just gonna say I want them to keep adding more stuff. They recently added basketball to Switch Sports, but I really think it would be cool because you don't need a separate attachment. You just use both Joy-Cons. I want them to add boxing back into it.
Oh yeah,
That'd be sick. That was so good.
Fun. Well, maybe we'll get Arms 2 on the Switch, too.
That would be cool. I really liked it. I liked Arms. I never owned it, but I played it multiple times with another friend, and I was like, this is a very cool, unique concept for a fighter. No one, you know.
Wow.
But no, I would love an Arms too, honestly.
I want people to get what they want.
What a nice way to say fuck you.
I don't
want
an Arms character.
Your opinion sucks.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like Arms, and Arms existing is why Min Min is in Smash Bros.
Well, look at this little guy.
I like that he curled up and closed his little eyes.
He also wants Arms too on the Switch too.
Gooby wants another Zelda game.
Yeah, I should take a picture of Taki like this right now and send it to the and be like, this is why I'd make a good fit for you and your kids. Just rock bye Taki.
Cool.
Such a little cutie.
You tell him you can't work Tuesdays?
No.
We're never going to be able to play D&D.
I got Fridays. Fridays off.
Cool, let me just change everything about my life for you.
Please.
I gotta get married to a woman.
Jason Derulo. No, I have to.
I think you meant to say Jasmine.
Did it take you that long to think of like a feminine version of his name?
Well, only because you said Derulo and I got stuck on that for a second.
Just Jasandra. That's pretty good. No.
Jumanji. Would you play Jumanji in
Jezebel.
real life?
They have a Jumanji board game.
Okay, you know what I mean.
But like the movie version where I get sucked into it if I suck too much.
Okay, but everyone stopped playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got sucked into the board game. And the board game came out of the... Why did he get sucked into the board game?
It was one of the traps that got triggered, I believe, and then they never finished the game because the girl got scared and ran away.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, never once did anybody else even get threatened with going into the game.
Well, it was
it
just
only
them.
happened once.
Oh,
ever?
You mean in the history of that game existing?
It just, nobody knows. Nobody knows I feel like there's some lore missing for the Jumanji game.
Well, yes. I feel like
you expect me to believe that little dork survived in the forest like that for that long? Absolutely not. He'd be dead in a week.
100%. I mean, did you see the other stuff that flew out of that game? It was insane, actually. I mean, the monkeys, the giant bugs. Also, those monkeys were incredibly smart. There's no way that he was going to be able to fight them for food. Monkeys are crazy strong.
Yeah.
And then there was also the hunter.
And the fact that he's a dweeb.
Yeah, and a child,
he's a little
nonetheless.
Who was getting beat up every day. He had a black eye.
Yeah. No way. No way he makes it out of that.
Someone stole his Jordans, and then he's got to run home in socks.
Different movie.
Dang it.
That's holes, and they're not Jordans.
I was thinking of Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah. No. He doesn't run home in socks. He just steals the shoes. That's right.
But in Hocus Pocus, he rides his home bike in socks. His home bike?
Yeah.
He rides his bike home.
Yeah.
In socks.
In Hocus Pocus.
The shoes stolen by Billie and Eilish.
Yeah. No, I was talking about holes. Holes, I was correcting myself saying he just steals the shoes. He doesn't lose his own shoes.
What are the guys' names in Hocus Pocus?
Stanley and Yelnats.
When he's like,
ah!
this is Ernie. I told
Bert
you to
and Ernie.
Nice. So
Ernie's the guy with the bucket hat, right? And then there's the blonde hair burnout Jay and Ernie or Ice.
Jay. Yeah, Jay, because he goes, I'm Jay, and this is Ernie. I told you to call me Ice. This is Ice.
Yeah.
And then they like try and smoke a cigarette, but they can't, and they steal his shoes.
Hey Hollywood, thanks for the shoes. They fit great. I hate those guys so much.
I love them.
I love
ice
them too,
into his hair. It's so funny. They're the best comedic relief characters, even though that's not like a scary movie, but like they're really great.
Oh yeah. They're
big
great.
Fans if you guys are watching.
Huge fans. Hey, you ever met Future Canoe?
Yeah. My 3 favorite people: Jay, Ice, and Future Canoe.
Dude, the names of like old movie or TV show bullies. So dumb. I love that though. Dude, we should draw up a bracket of old like 90s and early 2000s TV show and movie bullies and then like debate who would win, who would come out at the top.
Pataki.
From Hey Arnold?
Yeah.
You think she'd be on top?
Or Gaz from Invader Zim. I don't think she's a bully though.
No, well, also I think we should figure out a way to limit, the reality, because like if you have super scientist children from Invader Zim, just based on their access to technology alone, I think they would win.
Yeah. Well,
and also, what are the parameters for this debate? Because like if it's physical fight, I don't think Helga Pataki is gonna win if she's up against like the big dude from Boy Meets World,
or like what's Johnny's name or whatever, Kevin 11 from Ben 10.
Oh yeah,
we could turn into aliens.
Yeah, so definitely gonna limit it to real people TV shows. I think actually we could have 2 separate brackets: cartoons and real people shows.
What about Angelica? She's only 3. and she's the biggest bully that I
Mm,
can think of. Because Helga's just a tsundere. What is it? Yandere? What is the
a simp?
yandere?
Yan, yeah. I'll say
Yandere?
it in my classic American white person accent. Yandere,
Is it Yan? Is it the which one is it?
Sundari, or Yandere?
Yeah, the one that where she likes him actually.
I don't know. Google it.
That's
Google it.
Sunder.
Hey man, Google it.
I don't care enough. So no.
Hey, wait, hang on. Hey Google, definition of yandere.
Yandere.
Yandere is a special type of dairy, originally from the Yan region of France.
All right, the guy on YouTube says it's pronounced Sundere, and that's the one where they're mean first.
Yeah, so Helga
I
Pedicky.
wish that I was still popular on Twitter like I used to be, because I feel like if I tweeted back then in like 2018, 2019,
Yeah.
Helga Pataki is a Sundere, I bet that would have blown up.
If it doesn't already exist.
It probably does. There's no way it doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like not that anime was ever terribly unpopular, but I feel like there was a big anime boom in the late 2010s where it became a lot more mainstream.
It became a lot more mainstream, and in 2020 it got really popular to like it.
Well, yeah, because I feel like everyone was in during the pandemic was like, I just need to watch more. Like, what other content can I watch? And everyone was like, anime.
And they're like, "Did you see Attack on Titan?
Have you heard of One Piece?
Have you ever heard of Dragon Ball Z?" Probably not. It's a little show that I
It's
like from.
it's a bit of a classic anime. It's from the 90s. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I'm a little more cultured, so like I understand if you haven't watched things from different countries.
Are you
I'm not sticking to just English myself. Subtitles aren't that bad.
let me ask you this. Are you familiar with Super Saiyans? Yeah, I've trained under 10 times Earth gravity.
A hypobolic time chamber.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I would have to say that my biggest enemy is Frieza.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. When I was a baby, I had a fox stuck in my belly.
Oh, Naruto.
There you
I mean,
go.
I'm sorry, I meant Naruto.
Wow,
I'm
wow, you know Naruto?
Yeah, I'm gonna be done. I'm
Wow.
done with this bit. I hate that voice.
That was a long time.
Yeah,
That
that went
lasted a
on a
while.
little too long.
Yeah. Just lower the volume on that part in editing and
It's
then
just
do a
all
voiceover.
dolphin noise.
Just do a voiceover and be like, "Yeah, we really talked about this for this long." It's just funny because it's true though. There are a lot of people that are like, I just like pretentious weeaboos, but they're not even actually weeaboos. They're like new anime fans.
Oh yeah,
And they're like, "Oh, I watched Gurren Lagann, and that's underground." No, it's
it's
not.
not.
It's not.
It's a little old. It's a little dated. I don't want to say it's old, but it's a little dated at
It's
this
not that
point.
old.
No, it was like what 2014, I think.
Yeah, it's not even that old.
No, it's not even. It's still not old school at this point. And it was huge when it did come out. Picked a little something I'm calling Cowboy and Bebop.
Yeah, right though. Like that.
I
I've never
say
heard
it.
that actually come out of someone's mouth, but I have heard people be like, "Oh, you probably haven't heard of Chainsaw Man, right?" Yes, I
No,
have. Yes,
it's
I
brand
have.
new. Never
And
heard.
everybody has heard of Chainsaw Man.
I just want to say that I made that joke about Cowboy Bebop, ironically, since I also have a Cowboy Bebop tattoo.
You've never watched the show though, right?
Cowboy Bebop? No, I hated it. No, I, as, I feel like Cowboy Bebop is good, but I feel like it also kind of falls under like the stereotypical anime kind of category. Not
I disagree.
stereotypical.
Okay, there you go.
That's the wrong word. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like baby's first anime in that group a little bit.
Well, not necessarily though, because here's my thing. Most people our age that are into anime got started with Adult Swim. So like we watch Yu Yu Hakusho, Fullmetal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, and
Dragon Ball
Trigun.
Z.
I don't consider Dragon Ball Z wasn't Adult Swim though.
Oh no. That
We were watching that
what?
at different.
It was on Toonami. It might have been on Adult Swim also for a little bit.
The thing about Dragon Ball Z is that it played during the day.
There were definitely, you're right. Yes. I think it might have been on multiple time blocks though, because I definitely remember
But
watching it late at night and they had the uncensored version also.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
Where it actually Yu Yu Hakusho I think started as like the adult dub.
Yeah.
And then it was edited later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, yes, was part of the Toonami block, but they still would play Dragon Ball Z like during the day. And what I was getting at is I think that the anime that we watched at night stuck with us more because if you're watching Dragon Ball Z during the day as a kid, that's just a cartoon. You're watching,
Yeah, that's
Full
fair.
Metal Alchemist and Cowboy Bebop, and it's like dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop doesn't do a whole lot of like chibi animations, I guess.
Yeah. Aside from the outright, fisticuffs and violence of Dragon Ball Z, I feel like Full Metal Alchemist definitely has a lot darker themes in it. And
it's just grungier. I mean, Frieza blew up planets. Like that's more egregious objectively than Shao Tucker transmuting his dog. Actually, I don't know. Because on one hand, yeah, you murdered a billion people population. On the other, this person, took his flesh and blood.
Yeah, there's a difference between having a zoomed out view of a planet that's exploding and, having close up interaction with a homunculus like that. Chimera. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Sometimes I actually get scared that homunculus are real.
Yeah.
But also, if they are, turn me into one.
Working in a customer-facing role, it terrifies me.
Just like vampires, though. Like, if vampires existed, turn me. Do it.
No, I'm good.
I want to be one.
I don't want to live forever.
Vampires are always rich.
That's fair, I guess.
How am I supposed to work, though? You know what I mean? Like, it would be... I basically would disappear. Also, modern vampires probably have no problems. They're just...
vibing.
People are out at night all the time. They're just getting snatched up.
They're just vibing.
They just go to Ireland. They're all in Ireland. You hear how many people go missing in the wilderness there?
No, because I don't live in Ireland.
Taking them. I don't live in Ireland either.
You know what?
Somehow I know.
I feel like I could vibe with like a vampire game.
Nah. I'd want it to be Red Dead Redemption, but vampire.
Yeah.
Because there is a vampire in Red Dead 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember tying him up.
And Time Traveler.
I don't know the Time Traveler. I just know the vampire.
Oh. The Time Traveler thing is pretty cool.
I went and saw Nosferatu when that came out.
I still want to see that.
Described it as equal parts horny and uncomfortable.
Something about like uncomfortable is just like bad always.
A lot of it was more uncomfortable than scary.
Yeah.
And there was one scene that I audibly gasped at.
Uncomfortable as in like it makes you squirm a little bit, like it makes it feel like your skin crawling kind of uncomfortable. Or like awkward uncomfortable.
Let's say both that and embarrassment.
Okay.
You get both.
But like overall good movie experience.
Oh yeah, great watch.
Oh yeah.
I was not interested in seeing it and I'm glad that I did because I really liked it.
Yeah. Maybe
6 or 7 out of 10.
Kendra loves going to the movie theater, so maybe that'll be, assuming it's in theaters for long enough still, might be something that we go to.
I'm sure it will be. It just came out like a month ago, right?
Dude, things move so fast in terms of like streaming
I
and movie
know.
theater
I don't
stuff
even
now.
like. I do not remember January, and it's over. It's done. Tomorrow's the last day of January.
Yeah, a little crazy. Wait, is it? I thought there were 31 days in Jan.
It is
Oh,
currently
tomorrow
the
is the
30th.
31. You're right. My bad. Well, should be able to have 32 days in January. We'll just, you know what? February's already short. We'll just knock one off February again.
Let's just let's just make January
32nd.
58 days
Yeah.
and just get rid of February.
You know, the first couple months of the new year, usually not that great. Doesn't really do much.
They take so long. No, I was wrong.
Let's just combine them and call them Jabarch.
In my opinion, it's actually the opposite. It feels like the first couple months always are just like gone, and then my birthday hits in April, and then everything just slows down after my birthday.
Until November kicks in, and then it's like the rest of the holidays, and then you're back to the beginning of the year again.
No, dude, the week that you were here was like the longest month of my life. You were here, it felt like you were here forever, and you were only here for like 4 days.
Well, yeah. While we were there longer, we just only got to hang out for that little bit of time.
Yeah, well, I was hyperbolic. I was exaggerating the amount of time.
Hyperbolic.
It wasn't long enough. You should move in with me. That's what I'm saying.
I consider.
Break up with our partners and run away to become gamer bros.
Dude, honestly, if I somehow ever hit it big, you know, I would maybe not just like gamer house, but at least like large plot of land, multiple houses.
Cul-de-sac. I would prefer like gamer cul-de-sac because then we can still have our individual families.
Yeah, and then just walk outside, hang out, sit on the patio, sit in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
they're like, this is our cul-de-sac. No one's allowed down here. Did you know
that the cul-de-sac in Ed, Edd n Eddy is actually limbo?
Please don't. We've already done this episode. That's one of the. I feel like that was disproved though, because they had like the parents and other people, other locations, and time it does pass also because they go to school.
The original series, they didn't, but when they revived it, yes.
When did they revive it?
I don't know.
Was it like they did 2 seasons, took a break, and then came back and did more?
Yeah, there were a couple seasons, and then they had a little hiatus.
I
remember being really excited when they said new episodes of Ed, Edd n Eddy were coming out because it had been a long time.
I don't remember that. Maybe I had started on Cartoon Network / Ed, Edd n Eddy after the hiatus had already taken place. I don't know. At that point, well, you know what? Maybe it
was only a year. I was such a baby. 1 year of
that's like nothing. Because I feel like I mean for a kid.
Say if I was like 10, that's a big chunk.
A tenth of your life. I know.
Yeah. Oh, apparently it took a really long time for that show to like animate because they actually did hand-drawn cells.
Oh.
Which explains the shakiness of the lines. I know they did a lot of it for like artistic effect, but
yeah. That's what I kind of like about specifically Ed, Edd n Eddy style, because if they ever did like a deadpan like split second where someone's just like staring at someone else for saying a bad joke or like taking something away from them, like there's still so much going on in the picture because things are still just kind of moving buzzing. Yeah. I feel like it gives a lot more life to the show.
It brings attention to it. Your eyes get drawn to it, and then the bright colors keep you there, and then you're a baby. You're a baby, Trevor.
Yeah, basically.
Do you like Frozen?
I'd be baby. No. Hate Frozen. Frozen, I think, was...
most overrated Disney movie of all time. There, I said it.
I don't think that's as hot of a take as you think.
I think it is. I think Frozen is very dearly beloved, and especially because Gen Z is so old now. I see
Maybe.
it getting defended a
I
lot,
don't
and I'm like,
know.
that movie was boring. Also, like the the whole like true love thing is, oh, it's a true love because they have a sisterly bond. That's not true love. That's sibling platonic love. Please get out of here with that. I am so
Yeah.
sick of getting on the internet and being like, this was my headcanon for my Elsa X Anna fan fiction. I'm
That's
like, you need to go
gross.
to therapy.
Yeah.
I'm not here to king shame you,
Seek help.
but don't share it with me
I
without
will
my
yuck that
consent.
yum. I will yuck
I
that
will.
yum.
I absolutely do. I yuck a lot of people's yums. Get out of
Yeah.
here, shrimp lovers.
What?
I don't like shrimp.
They call them tailies.
Shrimp are bugs.
I mean, so are crabs
You-
and lobsters.
If you eat, okay, I don't eat any of that. If you eat shrimp, crabs, and lobsters, you're eating bugs.
Sue me.
My people will. My people will
You'll
get in
hear
touch with
from
your
my
people.
people.
I couldn't even say it for some reason.
I feel like I'm just generally unhappy with like the state of games
Oh,
as of
oh.
lately.
I'm just in general unhappy.
Yeah. Next timeline.
Next timeline. What do you mean with this? I am also actually, now that I think about it, I am also.
I have two things I'm looking forward. 3: Switch 2, Monster Hunter, and Pokemon. That's all I'm looking forward to this year. And I feel like, I mean, maybe that's just the I don't even know
The
how
way
to
the
describe
cookie
it.
crumbles. It is what
No,
it is.
I mean,
You're getting
they're
older
big.
and you don't like video games as much. That's okay.
I don't
You're
even think
growing
it's
out of it.
that. I just
You're
wonder
getting
if
more
it's like
mature.
something that's been like more consistent than like, yeah, I wonder if it's just reliability and knowing that like these games are more consistent than a lot of other titles, or taking a
I think
chance on a AAA game that's been rushed and is going to be bad regardless.
that's what I'm thinking. I think consistency is actually the issue.
Yeah.
It's
Because it's
it
like,
is way too consistent. Like everything always has to be bigger and better.
yeah.
And it can't. You can make like Pokemon as much as everybody hates it, and like as much as I'm disappointed that I believe that ZA is going to be a Switch 1 game instead of a Switch 2 game. Like I would still play the exact same game of Pokemon Legends Arceus with a different coat of paint.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you gave me different locations and different mons and a different story, that's a different game. I
Yeah.
don't care if it looks exactly the same.
That's what I've been saying whenever we've talked about it. It's not a deal break. I mean, I don't think it's a deal breaker for you either. It's literally a non problem for me if it is a dual system title.
Yeah.
It's going to be brand new content, completely different story, different location, and probably with a different sort of like a different crafting ability also.
The HUD system's going to be different.
Yeah, and it's we already know based on just the teaser trailer that they've released like a year ago, that's going to be a much more modernized game. It's going to be like the start of the city era because they had like blueprints of like buildings and stuff.
I don't know. We don't know anything.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be like industrial revolution kind of era.
Nobody knows. Nobody. I want it to be in the past. So I'm on that.
That is the past.
What I want is like a medieval Pokemon game.
That would also be cool.
I want Persona, but Pokemon, or Metaphor Refantasio, but Pokemon,
Yeah.
instead of SMT demons. Well, I mean, everybody's such a big fan of SMT and Persona games. Pikachu is in every single Pokemon game, and I'm like, Jack Frost is in every single Persona and SMT game, and they have way more games than Pokemon does.
Fair enough. Do does.
Things he
Oda
do.
Dudade.
Speaking of Invader Zim,
What?
that was a quote from Invader Zim.
Oh.
I think it's
Fake
either
fan.
it's either in the unaired pilot or the regular pilot. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he's talking about exposing Zim for all the evil things he do, and Gaz Gaz just goes, "Things he do."
Things he do.
It's really funny. I wonder if I could find it.
All right. I know I've been saying this for months, but I genuinely want to do reverse reviews with you. I've been saying it for months, and I just don't think I ever fully planned it out. But I still want to try doing reverse reviews with you, where we purposely seek out poorly rated games, play them. Do you think that's actually an option where we could draw brackets for the worst/best television bully?
I actually think that would be a really good YouTube video.
We could do that. I still
Ranking YouTube
think a
bullies.
good YouTube video would be to scroll through the terrible off-brand YouTube games, like in-browser games, and then like rank them based on gameplay and enjoyability.
Yeah. I mean, if we have free time, we could definitely like do some YouTube video recordings instead of like podcast. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do both as content creators, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And assuming I get this job, I'll have 4 10s and have a 3-day weekend that I could also work on stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm going to start collecting ideas for the bullies. We'll have to talk more about how big the bracket is we want to do. And then
Let's just each find 5 to 10 bullies, and then if we get 10, then it's a 20, and then if we get whoever has the lower amount, we just the other person who has more matches. But I wouldn't go more than 10 because that's going to take forever.
I think we should do 10 each, and we can double up per show if there's multiple bullies.
Oh yeah, what if we have the same bully and we only did 10? I don't know that I know 15 bullies.
Well, we don't need to like do the whole reveal on stream. We can just find them prior to the stream. You know, go over it together. Dude, I'm sure. Look at any like television sitcom or, you know, think of every show you've watched or movie you've watched as a kid that has like a bully in it. You got
Done.
2 just from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, but also we have to draw a line. What does bully mean?
Real person, no superpowers.
Okay, so I can't put Rita Repulsa on my list.
No, you can't put Rita Repulsa on your list.
She's the biggest op.
She would fall into the category, not even just like, well, shoot, okay. Now we need to do 3 bully tier lists. Regular people, superpowered, and then cartoons.
Okay. Well, no, because superpowered, that just invites too many villains.
Are bullies not villains, Ed?
We'd have to figure out like a very specific superpowered people. Rita Repulsa is a supervillain.
Yes.
But at the same time, she is a bully. Like she's got beef with the Rangers. She's not just trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
Dr. Draken from Kim Possible is a big dork. He's a supervillain. He doesn't really have any powers.
No, but he's got access to super tech.
He's not bullying Kim Possible. Shigo is bullying. Like, I don't even think Shigo is bullying Kim Possible. They got hands every time they meet. But I don't think that they're bullying. You know what I mean? They're just being mean and evil.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that should wrap it up for UpTilt this week. If you have ideas for bullies you'd like to submit, we will accept fan-based submissions. So let us know what bullies you'd like to see. So to limit it, I'll just put this general guideline out there. Real people in cartoons like that mimic real life. So like no superpowers, no super tech or anything. Angelica, Helga, that kind of stuff counts.
Honestly, I'd even accept the Duchess from the original, the pilot of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I would count that too. She's a bully.
She doesn't
not a real person, but yeah, not superpowers. She's just mean.
Yeah. Like Lex Luthor, he's a bully, but he's got intent to kill.
Yes. Doesn't count. Where I'm talking like, I'm specifically talking like in my mind when I think of the real people bullies, I'm thinking of the people from like the just smoke one cigarette, like the don't do drugs episodes of like, you know, Full House or Boy Meets World or something.
I think we're going to come up with a pretty good comprehensive list of bullies.
Absolutely. So preliminarily, we're thinking, do you see this?
I love that.
Preliminary, I'm thinking just 10 each. We'll make sure we don't have it. Make sure we don't have any doubles. And then we'll go from there. That'll do it for up till this week. Catch us on YouTube or Spotify, both at UpTilt. And then also
Amazon Podcasts.
And on Amazon Podcasts. Go boost our views over there. And also you can catch us live at twitch.tv/UpTiltPod. Probably not on Tuesdays anymore. We'll figure that out. And Ed's also thinking about streaming again. So
I'll probably stream
keep
on
an eye
Tuesdays since Trevor is not going to be here anymore.
Good call. This might now be the time where we switch to offline recording and just live stream video games or some other content. Either way, have a good week. Everyone stay safe. Peace.